We are now on Module 2 for Practical Research 2. In research, identifying an inquiry means asking a question or raising an issue you want to explore or understand better. It starts with curiosity about a topic. Once you know what you're curious about, you move to stating the problem. And this means clearly describing what issue or challenge your research will focus on. A well stated problem helps guide your study and gives it direction. Our topic for lesson 3 is designing a research topic. There are four basic steps in designing a research topic. First, choose a broad topic. Second, do preliminary research. Third, define the problem. Fourth, refine your questions. These are the steps in choosing quantitative research topic. First, choose a broad topic. Your research topic must be something that you are passionate, a topic that must be able to answer and solve problems in the community. So halimbawa, kapag gagawa kayo ng topic, dapat ito yung something na interested kayo para hindi kayo tamarin na gawin siya. Tapos hangga't maaari, yung topic nyo tungkol sa problems ng community na pwede kayong makapagbigay ng answer. Second, when choosing a quantitative research topic, do a preliminary research. The second step is time consuming. Once you have chosen a topic, you need to have better understanding of it by reading articles, journals, and related research topic. Pag halimbawa gagawa kayo ng quantitative research, make sure na meron kayong mapagkukunan ng resources nyo tungkol doon sa pinaka-topic ninyo. O kaya, mas mainam din na kumbaga gagawa ka ng isang research topic na nagawa na before or meron siyang related research topic para mas madaling kumuha ng information and resources. Another step in choosing quantitative research topic, define the problem. After getting enough information, you may list some questions or problems that you want to research. Pag halimbawa, gagawa ka ng question tungkol sa research mo, dapat related siya dun sa topic mo. Ba't mo ba napili yung topic na to? Ano ba yung mga hanging questions na gusto mong masagot? And then next step is refine the question. This step lets you evaluate the question. Pagkagawa mo ng questions mo, tignan mo kung appropriate ba tong questions na to. May possibility ba talaga na masagot siya regarding the problem, kung may makukuha ka ba talagang answer. Possible din na halimbawa may nakuha ka ng resources. Pwede kang mag-check ng mga problems na na-create nila or questions na na-create nila regarding doon sa same topic na meron kayo. After choosing your research topic, next on the list is your research title. Here are the basic guidelines in making research study title. First, use an accurate description instead of general terms. Pag halimbawa, ang topic mo ay tungkol sa pagkain, kailangan meron kang specific na pagkain. Hindi yung ilalagay mo dun na pagkain siya. Pag sinabing ang i-research mo ay tungkol sa fruits, kailangan may certain fruits ka na magiging research title mo. Halimbawa, apple, mango, guava. Kailangan nandun siya sa title. Hindi yung basta fruits lang kasi dapat maging specific ka. Second, do not use abbreviations except for commonly known ones like DNA and ICT. Pag gagawa kayo ng research title, dapat kumpleto ang spelling ng pangalan. Huwag nyo siyang i-shortened para maintindihan nung babasa kung para saan ba yung research mo. Research title ang nagpapakilala kung tungkol saan ang topic mo. Third, do not include words like the study of, analysis of, and investigation of, as this would only lengthen the title. So again, shorter title with specific topic. Fourth, include the main dependent and independent variables. Okay, so pag sinabing main dependent variable, This is a variable that you measure. It is the effect or the outcome that changes in response to the independent variable. So pag dependent, ito yung na-observe mo. Pag independent variable naman, this is the variable that you can change or control in an experiment. It is the cause or the factor you want to test. So pag independent, ano ba yung gusto mong baguhin? Next step when writing your research title, be mindful of the proper use of grammar and punctuation. Second, capitalize all nouns, pronouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, as well as the first letter of the first and last word. Next, state in a declarative form. And the year the study has been conducted should not be indicated unless it is a historical study. Next step in creating your research title, use current terminology. Gumamit po tayo ng mga words na naiintindihan. Yung pinaka-basic hanggat maaari. Huwag yung gagamit ka ng words na ikaw lang ang makakaintindi. Next, depending on the institutional requirements, 5 to 15 words are sufficient to describe the research study. And use the common name instead of chemical formula. Hindi kasi lahat nakakaintindi ng chemical formula. Especially kung halimbawa ang magiging research nyo ay tungkol sa gamot, tungkol sa sakit. So kung ano yung pinaka-basic na pangalan niya, yun na lang yung gamitin. Next step, write the itemized full scientific names. If ever may kasama talaga siyang scientific name para ma-identify siya, dapat po naka-italize yung pangalan or parang nakapatagilid. Next is, make sure to reflect the tone of the paper, not casual, not informal, or does not contain humor. So, dapat, pag halimbawa tungkol sa research paper nyo, serious research title tayo. Hindi kasi siya laro. Pag sinabi mo kasing research paper, this is something na meron kang gustong masagot na problem, meron kang ma-prove na sagot doon sa problem either ng community or probably sa mga bagay na gusto mong masagot. Kaya mo siya sinama as your research. Next on our topic is the background of the research. It is the part of your paper where you inform the reader of the context of the study. When we say context, it is the situation or circumstances within which your research topic was conceptualized. It is also on this part where you justify the need to conduct a research study about the topic that you selected. So, pag sinabi mong background, ano ba yung gusto mong iparating dun sa research study mo? Saan ba siya nanggaling? Bakit ba na-create yung research study na to? Bakit ba nagkaroon ng research problem na ganito? So, dun mo siya ipe-present. Background of the research. Next part is research problem. A research problem is simple as a problem that you would like to research. Furthermore, quantitative research problem describes trends and patterns of a phenomena. Second, research question. A research question helps you clarify and specify the research problem. They specify the method of collecting and analyzing data and the type of data to be collected when exploring a quantitative research problem. So again, kailangan mong i-present yung research problem. Research problem is the issue or concern na gusto mong pag-aralan. Pwede nitong i-explain ano ba yung mali, ano ba yung kailangang i-improve, at saka bakit ba importante yung topic na to. Pag naman research question, ito yung question na gusto mong itanong para ma-resolve yung issue. It is based on the research problem and helps you guide your investigation. So again, pag may research problem kayo, kasunod niyan is yung research question. Ba't kailangan ng research question? Kasi kailangan mong mag-ask ng question tungkol sa research problem mo. Paano siya masasagot or paano ma-understand yung issue kung walang panggagalingan na questions. Tapos yung mga questions na to, doon manggagaling yung sasagutan ng mga participants mo o ng mga i-interviewin mo. Doon mo makukuha kung ano ba yung magiging um, solution nung pinaka-problem mo. Here are some of the examples regarding with quantitative research. So first, research title. The title is The Impact of Social Media on Mental Health. Second, background of the study. Social media has become a ubiquitous aspect of modern life with people of all ages, genders, and backgrounds using platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter to connect with others, share information, and stay updated on news and events. Next is the research problem. The growing prevalence of social media use and its potential impact on mental health, particularly among young people. Next, research question. What are the differences in the effects of social media on individuals of different age group? How does the type of content consumed on social media, like social comparison, positive or negative news? So, pag nakikita niyo yung example na to, so yung research title niya ay tungkol sa social media. Ano ba yung epekto ng social media sa mental health? Sa background of the study naman, minention niya kung sino-sino ba ang gumagamit ng social media, ano-anong klaseng platform ba yung tinatawag nating social media. Then, sa research problem, ano-ano ba yung mga dahilan kung bakit nagkakaroon ng impact ang paggamit ng social media sa mental health ng mga kabataan ngayon? Tapos, yung research question naman niya, syempre, tungkol pa din sa social media. Ano ba yung epekto ng social media sa iba't ibang age group, bata, matanda? Tapos, paano ba nakakaapekto yung pag-consume ng social media kapag ang pinag-uusapan ay mental health ng gumagamit? The next part of our research paper is scope of the study. The scope specify the coverage of your study such as variables, population, participants, and timeline. The scope of the study explains what the research will cover. It tells the reader the boundaries of the study, such as the topic, location, time period, and who or what will be included. For example, halimbawa, nag-aaral ka ng grade 11 sa isang school. Tapos, ang gusto mong maging research topic ay studying study habits of grade 11 students. The scope would say that the research is limited to grade 11 student. So, pag yung research mo tungkol lang sa studying habits of grade 11 student, tapos merong specific school, dun ka lang magko-conduct ng research. Tapos pwede mo ring isama dyan yung school year, 2025, 2026. So hindi ka pwedeng mag-research in advance. Halimbawa, 2026, 2027. Hindi. So since ang topic natin, studying habits of grade 11 students in, halimbawa, Bethel Christian Academy during the school year 2025-2026. So pag sinabing scope, what the study includes and how far it goes. Hanggang saan lang ba yung boundary ng study ko? Ano lang ba yung i-cover ko sa study ko? Next part, the limitation of the study. The limitation, these are the factors that are not included on your research or those you will not deal. So the limitation refers to the choices or boundaries that the researcher sets on purpose to narrow the focus of the study. These are the limits you decide, like what you will not study, which group you will exclude, or which variables you will not include. For example, kung yung study mo nagpo-focus sa public school students at hindi sa private school students, that is the limitation. Delimitation limits you to set in your study by choice. So in short, pag public school students lang, hanggang dun ka lang. Yun lang yung i-interviewin mo or yun lang yung topic mo. Hindi ka pwedeng mag-interview or mag-ask ng private school students kasi nga may delimitation ka. Delimitation shows what is not included and helps make your research more focused. Balik tayo dun sa topic natin kanina. Halimbawa, sinabi mo, studying habits of grade 11 students. Pag hanggang dun lang siya, magkakaroon kasi tayo ng um, sobrang dami ng resources. Kasi hindi mo in-identify kung saang group ba ng grade 11 students ang tinutukoy mo. Kasi meron tayong mga estudyante galing ng public school, meron tayong mga estudyante na galing ng private school. Tapos, pareho silang grade 11. So again, magsiset ka ng delimitation, mamili ka. Kung ang topic mo ay studying habits ng grade 11 student, kailangan mong i-identify public school ba ang gusto mong pag-aralan or private school students ba ang gusto mong pag-aralan at tanungin tungkol doon sa research topic mo. That's the end of our lesson on designing a research topic entitled Background of the Research, Research Problem and Questions, and Scope and Delimitation. Take time to review these parts as they are the foundation of a strong research study. See you in the next lesson.